Hey, Emile here. I'm a business owner in Quebec, Canada, and I've been helping endurance athletes prepare for their events and rehab their injuries for almost 3 years now. And of those 3 years, I've been working with Alex a good part of 2 years. And so I started working with Alex about a year after launching the business, and I was definitely at a low point. Um, I was working huge hours. We're talking 12 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week, completely burned out. And I wasn't even training anymore. So my personal health was just going downhill at that point. And so I called on Alex for some help. Um, and it has been just the single greatest investment I did in myself and in my business. And so some of the things that Alex has helped me overcome was mostly around time management. So as I mentioned, I was working crazy hours, um, but I wasn't making any progress. And so what the first year actually ended up being and sort of the obstacles that we worked on was my own time management and my efficiency. And so with Alex, we sort of opened this whole box and we looked into how I was using my time. Uh, and so we worked really hard in that first year on identifying where I was leaking a lot of energy, time, and how I could reorganize my schedule and my tasks to just actually get some work done at the end of the day and not put out fires 12 hours per day. And so that helped tremendously in the first year on just getting a a better leverage on my time. And so I was just more productive in my day. I automated a lot of repetitive tasks, and so that freed up so many hours in my week, which I could reallocate finally to training, uh, and taking responsibility for my own health and my nutrition. I showed up just better at work, better for my clients, and I was a better place after that first year. And so once we became much more efficient in that manner, it then became sort of a um, buy back your time situation. And so I couldn't become more efficient with my time, and so I had to buy back some time. So Alex helped me look for an employee, and then it was a game of delegation. So he helped me through those processes of finding the task that I wanted to delegate, and then doing the process of generating sort of these operating procedures that I could give my employee. And so that freed up again more time for me to start working more on the business. And so that was a second key moment in there. And so I was more efficient with my time. I was delegating tasks to an employee. And so the third obstacle or third thing we did was actually start identifying strategies and high leverage tasks. And so knowing that I had a certain amount of hours I could work on the business, I would sit down with Alex and we would think about the most strategic moves that I could do with my energy. And I think that is one of the most valuable things to do, and that I had the opportunity to have doing with Alex instead of going off and working for a full quarter on a project that wouldn't give any return on investment. We would identify the highest probability, and then just double down and work on that project. And so that just freed up so much headspace for me and allowed me to gain a lot of momentum from quarter to quarter. And so obviously I have a small graph here to share a few numbers. This is the revenue for every quarter since the start of the business. And obviously revenue is not everything. You could be doing 1 million a month and still not have a great business, but I think this is one of the key metrics that is fun to look at to see some progress. And so when I started on my first year, my first quarter, I did about 7K per quarter, which when you have rent and a lot of equipment to pay back is not a lot. So that first year was quite hard for me. It's definitely struggling to get afloat. And so I started working with Alex on that second year, summer of the second year. And this is where we can kind of see a bump or a good increase in revenue here. When I started working with Alex, I was doing close to 20K quarters, which was really great. And when that really sort of took off was on that final year. So when I started being way more efficient with my time, which allowed me to delegate to an employee, that's when sort of the business took off. And we recently had a close to a 40K quarter here. So taking it from 7 to 40 in just about 3 years here is quite exceptional, and I could not have done this without the support and help of Alex throughout this process. So this is just a fun graph to show the progress you can make, but also put in perspective that these things do not happen in 1 month. They will compound, and it took almost 2 years of working with Alex before I really saw this exponential growth. So this is my story, and hopefully it helps some of you aspiring business coaches to keep going and definitely look for some good guidance and mentorship.